Ferrari's been hiding something, but Hamilton's performance just blew it wide open. He dominated the sprint. Then both Ferraris got disqualified. And now we know why. It's not about speed, it's about control, and Ferrari lost it. The SF25 has pace, but it's fragile. At low fuel, it flies. At full load, it collapses. What Hamilton's revealing isn't just his talent, it's Ferrari's biggest vulnerability. But to fully understand what's happening at Ferrari, you need to look outside Ferrari. Because what's unfolding at Williams, with Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon, actually exposes even more about what Ferrari was getting wrong all along. So before we dive deep into the SF25's problems and Hamilton's impact, we need to talk about Carlos Sainz, because his move to Williams and what's happening there tells us everything about the current state of Ferrari and what's coming next. Let's get straight to the point. Rumors have been flying around that Carlos Sainz is racing with an older chassis at Williams. And for many, that would explain why Albon's been wiping the floor with him. But James Vowles, the team principal, came out and shut it down. Both drivers are using exactly the same equipment, same chassis, same front wing, same gearbox. So here's the uncomfortable question. If everything's identical, why is Sainz getting outpaced by Albon? Maybe it's adaptation. Maybe it's driving style. But the hype around Sainz joining Williams isn't living up to expectations. And if a Grand Prix winner with Ferrari is already looking like a number 2 at Williams, something's off. It's either the car or the driver. The truth hurts, but someone's got to say it. Alex Albon is outclassing Sainz on track. In Australia, Albon was sharp all weekend and finished P5. Sainz? He spun out and retired. In China, more of the same. Albon in P7, Sainz in P10. And don't give me the adjustment phase excuse. The numbers speak for themselves. Albon's quicker, more consistent, and more confident in the car. And that's with the same machinery. You know what this feels like? That infamous Alonso versus Massa era at Ferrari, when the second driver refused to play second and the other didn't realize he'd already become a supporting act. Let's be honest, the claim that Sainz was using a different, inferior chassis was just another attempt from Ferrari fans to justify a poor showing, because it's hard to accept that the guy who once challenged Leclerc is now trailing behind Albon. But Williams shut it down. Same chassis, same setup. Both are running an evolved version of the 2024 car, exactly as planned. And why? Because the team is investing everything into 2026. So let's be clear, this equipment difference argument is just that, an excuse. If you want to defend Sainz, you'll need a better one. This one's dead. The most interesting part of all this is how James Vowles laid it out. When he talks about Williams focusing on 2026, he's not just explaining a strategy, he's throwing shade. While Ferrari scrambles to patch things up in the present, Williams is embracing short-term pain to cash in later. And that says a lot about leadership. Ferrari's in crisis mode, firefighting. Williams, despite being near the back, is thinking long-term. That, my friends, is strategy. It's not just about lap time, it's about where you want to be when the next era of F1 begins. Now let's talk Ferrari. The car isn't bad. We saw that in the Chinese sprint. Hamilton took pole and won comfortably. The problem is what happened next. On Saturday, they looked like contenders. On Sunday, they finished 5th and 6th, and then lost both results due to technical infringements. So the big question is, how does a car that's fast in the sprint become average in the race? Here's the answer no one wants to say out loud. Ferrari can't keep the performance with a full fuel load. With 40 kilograms, it flies. With 100 kilograms, it becomes a tractor. The big rumor in the paddock is that the SF25 struggles with ride height. Too low and it scrapes. Too high and it loses ground effect and grip. And Ferrari doesn't seem to have a wide enough operating window to manage it across different tracks. The result? It's either blisteringly quick in ideal conditions, or it turns into an unpredictable mess. No one on the team has said this officially, but it's obvious. If they don't sort it soon, they'll keep looking strong only in sprints. And last we checked, you don't win titles on sprint pace alone. Frederick Vasseur made a statement that says a lot about Hamilton. He's demanding, but that makes the team grow. And he's right. Hamilton didn't join Ferrari to blend in. He pushes, he challenges, he changes the atmosphere. And maybe that's exactly what Ferrari needed. Someone to shake them out of their comfort zone. Because Leclerc, fast as he is isn't the kind of driver who flips the table and demands change. Hamilton is. And no, he's not going to transform Ferrari overnight. But he's already forcing the team to rethink its culture, and that long-term is worth more than 3/10 in quali. Vasseur also said the top 4 teams are very close in lap time, and Ferrari shouldn't be too worried. Wrong. It's precisely because they're close that every detail matters. When the field is separated by less than a tenth, you can't afford to mess up a single bolt. And Ferrari keeps making rookie mistakes while hiding behind the car isn't bad. Newsflash. That's midfield thinking. Top teams aren't satisfied with not bad. Top teams want to be the best. If Ferrari doesn't wake up to that, the damage will go far beyond one bad weekend. Time to connect the dots. Sainz isn't delivering. Albon is on the rise. Hamilton is dragging Ferrari into a new era. And Leclerc quietly losing the spotlight. Here's the bit no one wants to say out loud. Ferrari might be betting on the wrong driver for the future. With Hamilton leading a cultural shift and Sainz proving maybe he wasn't the problem at Ferrari, fans need to rethink the story they've been sold for the past few years. It's uncomfortable, but it's real. And here at Paddock Insider, we say what no one else has the guts to. So what does all of this tell us? Ferrari is at a crossroads. They've got a car with potential. We've seen that in the sprint. They've got one of the greatest drivers of all time now leading the charge. And yet they're still making the same mistakes that have haunted them for over a decade. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, look at Ferrari. One weekend they look like contenders. The next they're blaming fuel loads, ride height, or technical oversights. And all the while, Red Bull, Mercedes, and even McLaren are building, improving, evolving. And let's not forget Sainz. He was supposed to be the problem at Ferrari, right? Too inconsistent, too conservative. But now at Williams, with no excuses left, the car, the team, the setup all equal, we're starting to see a clearer picture. Maybe the problem wasn't just Ferrari. Maybe Sainz just isn't at the level people thought he was. Or worse, maybe Ferrari kept the wrong number 1. Meanwhile, Hamilton has walked into Maranello like a wrecking ball. And that's exactly what the team needed. He's not there to be liked. He's there to win, to rebuild, to force a culture shift. And if the team can rise with him, Ferrari might just have a shot at becoming Ferrari again. But if they keep playing it safe, they'll stay exactly where they are. Overfunded, overhyped, and under-delivering. This isn't just a story about setup in sprint races. It's a story about identity, about a team that's spent too long being defined by its past and now has a chance to finally build a future. But the question is, will they take it?